Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live, and we've got a lot packed in today's episode. Something's up with the feed here. Seems like we're frozen. Oh, our camera's frozen. So, Will, click it to you. Well, right now, we got to figure out what's going on with this camera.
Hey, folks.
It literally cut out as soon as we started.
Yeah, I know. Right when I got off the main title.
Well, let's at least get the beginning of this going. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll click over to this camera for now. Please stand by. I appreciate. You know what? In the meantime, what we're going to do is go to the loading screen for just a little bit longer.
Should I turn the music on? Have it be like elevator music?
Good. All right, we'll just use that one for now. All righty. I appreciate everybody standing by with us as we kick off today's episode. As you can see, we're working off the middle camera because Will's running the keys and Doug's still on a beach somewhere. But for whatever reason, my camera cut off here. So I want to at least get the topics rolling and the episode going. So we've got quite an action-packed episode for you. That's why I'm pissed about the blunder, because we've got a lot in store and we can't really stall. Getting into it, I've got an update for us, a big one, a good one. But of the topics for today, we got to talk about how, one, we've got... There's too much going on. We've got protests across the world, and it's a lot to take in. And we also need to talk about how Jonathan Majors threw away a Disney Dynasty, and there's a lot to unpack there. And then the last topic of the day is how ironic and wonderful would it be to take out an 8-mile strip of the Amazon so we could pave the highway to the climate summit. So joining us as always in the Pickle Gallery, Just Another Day TV. Ricky, how you doing today?
I'm good. What up, fellow thinkers? We outside.
What an episode. What a way to start off the day. All right. And on the keys, as always, not as always, really just holding down the fort, Wilbur. Will, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. We're both doing inaudible, I guess.
Yeah, seriously. Got to catch it on the fly. So let's kick off the episode. Okay, so first, big updates. Elon Musk has conquered the inevitable, and we finally have the stranded astronauts on their way home. Here is a clip of them catching the news of the fact that soon they'll be being picked up and brought home. Here's a clip of them on the news.
This idea that you need to be rescued, that's not how you feel there.
No, I would say that's not how we feel. You know, since we've been here, we've had a way to get home if we really needed to in an emergency.
There's many ways to characterize it. Stranded, I don't think, is one of them because we're on the space station.
It was just days ago when Elon Musk, who owns the SpaceX ship that will bring them home, said the 2 astronauts were left in space by the Biden administration for political reasons. Is that the case?
Political reasons, I have not heard that. I'm not sure that that could be the case based on what I know. We came up here with a plan to test out the spacecraft and return. The plan changed. We also came up here with a backup plan, fully trained to do everything that you can do on the International Space Station, because in this business, nothing is a given.
Since then, they've joined the NASA mission Crew 9, Nick Hague flying in on that SpaceX Crew Dragon with room for Butch and Sunny. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get back to planet Earth?
That's easy. I'm going to hug and kiss my wife and my daughters. That's simple.
Is there something that the 3 of you are going to miss about being on the space station?
Stuff like that. I mean, you floating around in zero gravity and being able to do what it seems impossible challenges your imagination.
What's your message to Americans who were watching these narratives unfold of you being stranded and stuck in space, and they were so worried about you?
We're thankful for your support, and that's what Americans do. We lift each other up and keep each other going.
So this is an exciting time, but also what a hot clip. Very convenient for the people stranded in space to be like, nah, it wasn't political. We could have came home at any time. Oh, yeah? Wait, don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, you could come home at any time? Then why didn't you? If the guy that brought you home says that that's probably the political scenario on the ground here, how would you know what the political scenario on the ground is? You're stranded in space and certainly not a part of the dialogue. I would go out on a limb and say if you were, you probably would be on your way home quicker. But the big bad villain of the whole story that we love hating on and the people that are stranded and taking advantage of his help, can we just at least, in the updates and as we're getting excited about today's episode, can we get excited about the marvel of his recent accomplishment this week? Or really anymore, we've become so accustomed to it, we don't even look at it as an accomplishment anymore. Look at this. This is crazy.
It seems so effortless, but it isn't.
Exactly, dude. I mean, the way it changed the trajectory of the jet engine, not a jet, impulse, explosion. Okay. What makes this so exciting is like Will said, this is something we're doing just so casually now. I love that the guy had maybe one major blunder with the first one. It kind of just like, now we're just doing this every Tuesday. This is just a thing we do now. This is a thing we do. You know, when I was preparing this segment and getting these clips together and getting excited about this marvel, this feat, it's incredible that think about how they went to space before this. It was just a one-way rocket. They just loaded a person on a firecracker. And they're like, all right, we're going to have to send you another firecracker to bring you back. And, well, really, we're just going to need a really big parachute. You're going to crash to the ground. It's just how much can we soften the blow? Now, this is what we do.
We're going to ignite first the Center 13 engines. We should see that coming up here momentarily.
Engines in startup.
This is going to come down to 3 engines as the booster slows down for its landing. And we just heard the sonic boom. What an incredible sight to see the Super Heavy booster gliding down into the chopstick arms once again.
That is so insanely
Is this
awesome.
in Florida?
Yeah.
Dude, so it's in Florida. I like how they had like the view of that guy with his own personal camera. Just a Florida man, probably on whatever, looking over like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Wonder what that's about. Like, like what are the odds? I think it's pretty. I think it should be one of those kind of like the DJ thing from the speech where like how is everybody not thinking this is kind of cool, like kind of like historic?
Well, again, so first off, amazing feat by Elon Musk, but they want so desperately to make him out to be a villain, and I can't help but just continue to ask, where do you see him? Like, what are you pointing at that makes him a problem? If him giving his heart out to people and this like faux Nazi salute is the only thing that you can like conjure up, then we need to be totally clear. There's nothing you can point to that makes this guy a bad guy. I mean, everything he has done, getting us to Mars, the development of electric cars, self-driving cars, he wants to do tunnels under the ground. Everything is for the development and furtherment of people, mankind. What else? Who else is doing that? Jeff Bezos. I just want a bigger yacht. Like all of these, I want a girl. I want a new wife, bigger boobs. That's your billionaire. Don't even start looking at Saudi princes for the furtherment of human development. And so we just want to hate this guy. So one, I just thought that was like a chachi political ploy by people who are stuck and desperate. But don't worry. They'll be saved no matter what. They'll happen. We'll be the better person. But in the better news, the update we've all
get up in the morning and what you need, like your two.
I want to skip. We'll get back to that. Here they are. Why is this not in an order? Oh, they're all not here. There's a clip I have of the astronauts coming onto the space station, and we are having a rough start to this episode. But here it is. So first off, you've got Russian cosmonauts. They've been up there for 286 days. Williams and Wilmore are the two people that were trying to get home.
First Crew 10 astronaut through the hatch.
And they're joined by SpaceX crew and Nick Hago and a Russian cosmonaut, Alexander Gorbanov, who have been aboard the space station since September. The pair's 286 days in space is far from a record, which is held by Russian cosmonaut Valery Polyakov, who spent 437 days in orbit from 1994 to 1995. That's crazy. Could you imagine being up in space for longer than a year?
No. No, at least he got paid to do it. Like you'd have to pay me to do it.
But what I love about this clip here is what a cool moment for just like mankind, distilling what's happening on this floating rock in space down here with us people. Think about like the relations between the people in the red shirts, the Russians, and the people in the blue shirts and the people in the lighter blue shirts that have been graying in space for almost 300 days. You've got this like big moment where everybody's hugging each other. And I mean, it shows at its base, we're all people. We're all the exact same. And when you go to wars with these people, you're just fighting the fights of the bigger people. You're fighting someone else's fight and for their own sake. These are just people. I have no fight with them. And I don't know. I think it's a cool moment that you only find in the International Space Station. But we can't just be above just heartwarming moments. You got to have some levity, have some fun with it. Thank goodness it's the humor of X. Somebody on this SpaceX shuttle comes on with this alien mask. Got jokes.
Hey, at the end of the day, they're like, we're just 8 assholes in space.
Right.
There's nothing we could do.
Nothing we can do. We're here. I just
What
a way
makes it
to
even
end
better? What makes it even better? It doesn't just look like an alien. It looks like the alien from a Scary Movie.
Yes, yeah. Peeing from his fingers. So as I had it there a little bit earlier, as they got approached, here's a little tour of the lifestyle they've been living for
And
the last
toothpaste
almost year.
and brush. See how much better the brush makes my hair look?
Oh yeah.
I'm just joking. It still stands up straight. It doesn't matter where you are. It's always going to stand up straight while you're up in space. A lot of people ask about toothbrush and toothpaste. So luckily enough, toothpaste, you can do it upside right this way, is sticky, and so it sticks to your toothbrush. No problem. Another cool thing is that water sticks to your toothbrush too. If you can see it. I'll have some water come out. The water is pretty neat up in space. It'll stick to your toothbrush, and it will make a big bubble. And that's just by surface tension. And then you can drink it. So a lot of people ask about what do you do with the toothpaste after you brush your teeth?
I don't think she needed to prove by actually brushing her teeth, but
2 options. Swallow it, and it's sort of like mouthwash, but it tastes a little gross. Or you can just spit it out in a paper towel, and then you don't have to worry about it. Swallowing thing I wouldn't recommend at home. I'm only up here for 4 months, so it's not that bad.
not that bad.
One of the most pressing questions about living in space, of course, is the bathroom. So let's take a look at that little piece of work. Come on in.
Well, I don't know if I could do that, and I definitely don't know if I could do that for a whole year. And think about the cosmonaut that did that for a year and a half. I don't know. Ricky, do you have any thoughts on this? Like they're contradicting Elon Musk's statement that he could have had them home sooner. And it seems like they kind of like it up there. I have a note here that I didn't get to. According to NASA, a 200+ day stay in space should not lead to any significant health issues when they return to gravity of Earth, but there will be an acclimation period, which is typical after lengthy periods in orbit. Dude, just imagine they're just like, can you hand me the remote?
I just saw a clip of them walking, and I thought there were gonna be wobbly legs and stuff, but they walking fine to me.
Really?
But
yeah,
yeah,
they got home like a half hour ago or something like that. They landed.
Yeah, land at
dude,
4:45.
We gotta get a clip of it. So Ricky, finish your point. I'm sorry.
They're walking fine to me, and shoot, this is their goal, bro. Their goal, they train, they study to go to space. So I don't think they really do mind just being up there other than missing their family. They know eventually they're gonna come back. So like I feel like more time up there is just what they've been training and studying to do. That's been what they've been training for. That's why they went into being astronauts.
I mean, that is true. Like at the same time, that's a great point.
It's not like being stuck underwater now. And then you expect to go under and come back up. But you know, you up there.
You guys really saw videos of them walking?
I didn't see videos of them walking. I saw them like landing.
This is like incredibly hard to find. I'm finding tons and tons of videos of like the capsule and there's dolphins. Oh my God, we got to see this. Let me share this for.
Oh my God. What if they were sharks? The
Yeah.
instant they land, they're getting attacked by sharks.
They are so lucky it is dolphins. I keep trying to share an image file. I got to share the screen. There's imagine landing from space and now you got to deal with sharks.
They like land and all of a sudden Cthulhu rises from the water.
So here, starting over again. That's awesome. Yeah, they're brilliant creatures, and they're beyond curious of what's going on up here. But since now we've got it shared, let me just make sure you can still see it. I'm looking for so here's the capsule coming down. It's like that's the rudimentary way we've always done space. It's like just parachute. Man, you're preying on wind, no holes in that thing. Call it home.
Yeah, they're not walking funny. They didn't even go up there.
Yeah, dude. Wait, you're seeing them walk?
No,
I'm desperate to find clips of them
walk yet.
because I am confident it cannot be easy. Or were you really there? Dun dun dun. Will, what are your thoughts on the whole NASA thing so we can kick off today's episode?
No, that was an old video, but this is how they came out of the spaceship right here.
Ayo! Cheers to you, Ricky.
They're in the
dude. Imagine me like, oh my God.
They're in the wheelchair.
Oh my God. I gotta take a piss.
Dude, he's in his spacesuit. He is literally not moving. He's just doing it there. Like, hey, I'm home. How much do you get paid for that?
Not enough. I'm sorry.
What is the overtime?
For 286 oh my God, a time and a half. A time and a half. They just got 8 months overtime. Now it's worth it.
They make
I'm never going home or going back to work.
I'm always clocked in, dude. I'm just living my life.
Dude, this thing is just a parody. And again, we spit in the face of the guy that gets us home. I cannot make this up. So let's get into today's episode. We've got a lot packed in store. I kind of announced them out of order because I was stressing over this dang camera, but I'm glad we got it working. Woo-wee. All right. First, we're going to be starting off with Jonathan Majors, the man that threw away a Disney dynasty. And then we're going to get at how there's protests across the world. And then again, the 8-mile highway being built through the Amazon. So starting off with this first topic here, there was a conversation that was caught by involving Jonathan Majors, who, for those of you who don't know, was the star leading actor that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was being built around. And there was a conversation that was captured in the aftermath, the days of this big fight, this big fallout, where Majors and his then girlfriend, a professional dancer, Grace Jabari. Now, that is a slight by Yahoo News. They didn't have to do that. In September of 2022, the Marvel actor had been living with Jabari in London as he filmed the second season of the Disney Plus series Loki, when he allegedly became angry with Jabari. According to a since settled civil lawsuit filed by Jabari last April, she alleged Majors slammed her into a car, dragged her back inside their home, and strangled her. The unearthed audio tapes captured Jabari confronting Majors about the alleged attack in the following days. This is why it's a topic for today. And when just things can't get worse, he finally settles the civil lawsuit, and that's kind of behind him. And he's calling for vindication. And of course, this audio clip surfaces. It goes, "I am ashamed I ever..." Majors begins before cutting himself off. "I've never been aggressive with a woman before. I've never aggressed a woman. I aggressed you. You strangle me and push me against the car," Jabari interjects. "Yes, all those things under aggressed. Yeah," Major responds. "That never happened to me." "Because I said something sarcastically in your eyes," Jabari says. "Well, clearly it's more than that," Major says. "Something inside you," Jabari says. "Yeah, towards you," Major agrees before the recording ends. So therefore confirming what as a scene that he was vindicated from. Now, this becomes such a heavy topic because when I exclaim how an entire Disney universe was built around this person, I truly don't mean that lightly. what's fascinating about this is Disney's financial losses resulting from Jonathan Majors' incident are not publicly disclosed in precise figures. However, the impact is notable, particularly within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Majors was poised to play a central role as Kang the Conqueror in upcoming MCU projects, including the Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, following his conviction for assault and harassment in December 2023, Disney and Marvel Studios terminated their association with him. This abrupt departure necessitated significant adjustments to the MCU's narrative trajectory, potentially leading to increased production costs and delays as the franchise recalibrated its plans. While exact financial repercussions are kind of undisclosed, industry experts acknowledge that such disruptions can have substantial economic implications. Additionally, Disney's broader reconstruction efforts, which include $5.5 billion in cost reductions, $3 billion of which are targeted at television and film divisions, may have been influenced by challenges like Major's incident. I mean, imagine an entire billion-dollar corporation putting everything, like, they don't even put that much weight and financial reliance on like their CEO. You have created a character around or you've put all the money around a character, that character being reliant on an individual human. Now, I am surprised they didn't take on why wouldn't you just put a different person? Like, there are people that look like him, and you could probably find a well-calibrated actor that could fill, but then again, now you have to concede, and this will this existence of this problem, and it'll always loom over all your future projects, and people will always what if your project. So it's one of those, you really can't. You got to throw the whole thing out. So in summary, while Disney has not publicly quantified its financial losses due to Jonathan Majors' incident, the associated costs are likely significant, encompassing both direct expenses related to actors' departure and indirect effects stemming from the broader strategic adjustments within the company. Now, I took the time to break down what we could possibly calculate this cost to look like. You have to consider the affected projects. Majors was cast in as Kang the Conqueror, a central antagonist in the MCU, and that's looking at Avengers: Kang Dynasty. There were a series of films within Marvel's Phase 6, with Kang being one of the central figures in the MCU multi-universe saga. The loss of Majors as Kang necessitated the rewriting and recasting of one of the most significant roles in the MCU. Those changes would likely include script rewrites, storylines built around Kang, as well as his eventual confrontation with the Avengers would have to be adjusted. Casting, a new actor would need to be casted. The new portrayal of Kang would likely have to be integrated into the story in a way that makes sense. But then again, now we're going with Robert Downey Jr. and going with a whole different series. This will probably be the strongest direction for its adjustment. However, look at what needed to happen for it to take place. You had Loki season 2, Majors appeared as Kang, and now with the upcoming third season, the development of those further phases, we're going to have to readjust that whole story. Truthfully, a little bit of the Marvel nerd in me coming out, it would be an absolute tragedy if they were taking the story in a way where Loki becomes like, he's this anti-hero that will eventually, hopefully, become that good guy. Well, it seems like the story may necessitate him becoming an even worse villain, especially where he's currently poised in his television series. So getting back to the numbers, they had to readjust then not only all of those Kang Avengers movies, but future movies like Fantastic Four. You had to, again, we also have to look at like direct costs. So With script rewrites, you have hiring of screenwriters for rewrites. That could cost anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000, depending on the scale and complexity. Reshoots and additional filming, depending on how much needs to be reshot. This could easily add anywhere from $1 million to $10 million. And then with their whole CGI obsession in this whole industry, it only exponentially blows up from there. Casting a new actor, finding a new actor of Major's caliber could come with additional costs. I mean, what they paid for Robert Downey Jr. is insane. But again, to patch a hole so deep, you have to get one of the biggest names to ever exist. This could add 2 million, 5 million, 20 million. So in those realms, those are the direct costs, but you also have indirect costs. So the loss of revenue from delayed projects. If the release of a key MCU film is delayed, well, then Disney loses millions in the box office revenue, slowing down other projects. A blockbuster MCU film can gross anywhere from 500 million to 2 billion, depending on its scale. A delay like that could cost anywhere from 100 million to 500 million of potential revenue. This could have a major brand impact. The controversy surrounding Major's whole lifestyle and the issue that comes from it could impact fan reception and cause a decrease in enthusiasm for future projects, leading to reduced box office performance or subscriber losses for Disney Plus. And then you've got this ripple effect across the MCU projects, reshuffling of future MCU stories, and the shifting of the focus of other villains and other superheroes. It frustrates the long fans that you've had there forever. So it's a difficult situation. And then on top of that, you have to deal with the increased cost for future Marvel projects. This disruption can increase the cost for future projects due to the fact that you have to readjust all of the narratives, and what we don't know could have been scrapped or has to be scrapped because of it. So in conclusion, while it's hard to pinpoint the exact financial losses, the costs associated with Jonathan Major's departure from the MCU could easily exceed 100 million when factoring in script rewrites, reshoots, casting changes, production delays, and the impact on future MCU plans. The ripple effect could extend to multiple films, TV shows, and even Disney Plus content, forcing a larger than expected recalibration of the MCU's multiverse plans. So I'm throwing a lot at you. Ricky in the Pickle Gallery, let me ask you, what are your thoughts?
I feel like bullshit. Okay. All right, look.
Why you say that?
Because Marvel been flopping before that. Their writing has been crap before that. Disney has been crap before that. Now they're trying. Look, Jonathan Majors did fuck up. We saw the video, him chasing. We saw all that. This, I don't even believe it. It's not in court. It didn't come in court. They had a whole trial about it. I think it's AI. Why didn't it come out then? AI. Boom. I don't believe it. Look, I feel like Disney paid these people. I was like, yo, write this nice piece, because Ant-Man and the Wasp flap. Season 2 on low-key didn't do so well. It didn't get back their money. So now they're like, oh, Jonathan Majors. They were already thinking about rewriting the whole thing.
I agree.
They were trying to get rid of King because he didn't hit. Jonathan Majors is a good actor, but it didn't hit. His role as King didn't hit. Season 1 of Loki, cool. But when people saw him in Ant-Man and Wasp, they're like, oh no, we don't need this. We don't want it. It was crap. The CGI, as he said, was garbage. They're not putting enough attention into writing and actually developing good characters within the story that you're telling. They're focusing on just, okay, we just need to get this here, moving on to here, and let's have one grand finale. Okay, leaving up to Adventures was fantastic. We loved it. Infinity War, Endgame, great. Peak. Oh, but look, stop. You're just trying to blame Jonathan Majors. Look, let the man come back. He fucked up. He did it. He got put by the public. He got shamed, and by the criminal, by the law, he got shamed. So he got that. So look, can he come back? Can y'all just get off the man's name and y'all actually do some development and get y'all shit together? Like, come on now. It can't all be Jonathan Majors' fault.
That's
then
so
if
true.
you want to get away from Marvel, Disney Star Wars is crap. Everything, they just had to fucking cancel the Acolytes like a couple months ago. Come on, like, man. Always blame the black man.
I really wish Doug was here. That is like a major pitfall to this having to be the topic this week because Doug's a major Marvel guy. Like it's taken a long time for some of my friends to depart that. Doug has not.
Doug,
I'm
Doug
still
is
that
double
hard.
down.
Anything they put out, I watch.
I can't remember. That's why I'm bummed he isn't here because he'd be able to tell me. There was a movie maybe like 5 years ago or so where it was like all of the gods. The guy from Silicon Valley was in it. The
Are you talking about Thor Ragnarok?
Oh no.
With Zeus
movie, right? God, what's it called? No.
What's that guy's
name?
name?
You're talking Eternals.
That was Eternals. Okay.
That was crap.
First off, you had to make it super liberal and political just by like the way you're promoting the movie and the actors going on their run. So you lost me. You had to make it like a political narrative. So
and again, they just dropped Captain America, bro. They're not making back their money.
Never. Well, and you know what? How about this? You know what? I kind of like Anthony Mackie. I really loved the PlayStation game Twisted Metal, and that is such an underrated show. He did an amazing job on that show. The show is a blast. NBC needs to figure their ish out and get the second season out already. Loved it. I'm rooting for Anthony Mackie in more ways than not. But then there's too many, like, hey, make a sandwich. Okay, you got my attention. You're speaking my language. And then he says other things where it's like, dude, you lost me. And guess what? I want to live in a world where, we're beyond Captain America's got to be a white guy or, whatever it is. I want to live in that world where we're beyond it. But then what is Captain America but an American, right? And Americans look very different. They come in all shapes and sizes. But you know where you lost me is when you're going on your press tour and you say Captain America isn't for Americans and Americans need to figure that out. He doesn't represent America. It's like, what world are you on? Dude,
they
you were
need to stop
this
putting
close.
these people on press
He literally
runs, bro.
didn't watch the first Captain America movie.
Dude.
They need to stop putting these people on press runs
soldier.
because if they don't stop putting these people on press run, all their movies gonna flop. Because Snow White's about to come out, or didn't it come out last week?
Ziegler. Whoa.
Snow White just came out for Disney, and like it's not looking good. You know what I mean? So
look at the comments. If you see any clip of Rachel Ziegler, she's got chameleon eyes, Gligler. The comments are like, no, I don't see a human in support of her.
The comments are just like very simple, like you said.
And
no,
she and her co-actress is beefing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You know what? You know what? I'm not a fan of hers, but I do respect her for like tripling down every time. It's like, yeah, you know what? Stand for something, I guess.
So Disney have bigger fish to fry than blaming Jonathan Majors because y'all had to rewrite some. Y'all needed to rewrite some. Y'all should thank the man. Okay, find him another role. God damn it.
Yeah. That is the hot take. So I don't want to totally depart from the Marvel topic quite yet. There's one last piece that I want to hang on this one. So there's some news. There is a documentary coming out here soon, and it has to do with a Marvel legend, the person that we praise and rest in peace, Stan Lee. There's a documentary coming out soon that is. It's a whole documentary about how his inner circle, call it his estate, and Disney exploited him for every penny they could squeeze out.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, are you ready to give a riveting speech? You're going to change lives.
I thought I was finished with that. What do I have to do now?
You're never over.
You what? I said I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
Look, once we're done, we'll get out of here.
Now what do I do here?
Same thing. Talk about you. We'll make some new questions.
But I don't have the.
Yes, you will. Yes.
How old is he in that?
It's sick, bro. Sick.
I wonder how old he was at that time. I mean, I would say late 80s.
He died at 95.
So yeah,
dude.
he may have been late 80s there.
90,
early
dude.
on
That dude's 90. You're looking at a 90-year-old being dragged to conventions to sign some nerd's Iron Man pop.
Hey, you know what I'll say though? He's moving better than Biden.
Dude, Spider-Man.
And they were sticking him like closets and stuff, like on wheelchair. He's just nodding off, bro. It is so sad to see to such an iconic figure, bro.
So again, I love the way you said that, Ricky. Totally agree. And look at what they do to all of this. They buy Marvel. They bleed the source dead. I mean, you just bled Stan Lee for everything he could. We thought it was cute. Oh, he was in a cameo. Didn't you see he gave Spider-Man a coffee? Like, no, bro. They were manipulating this guy. And I mean, talk about, but at the same time, it's one of those, I am working. Once you get to that point, it's that like, I'm working so my kids will never have to work again. So you're accepting the fact at some point that you're like this sacrificial lamb that like, because why are you doing that at 95?
Yeah.
Like what's another 200 grand
there?
Right? Like, can we agree? How much is he really getting from one of that? Like, okay, there is the sports memorabilia convention that travels between New York, Cleveland, and LA every year, and it switches.
Yeah.
So this last year, it was in Cleveland. It was an awesome experience, great to see. But you're seeing, like, why is Albert Pujols and Roger Clemens, like an older guy and a recently left out of the league guy, why are you spending an afternoon in and for them, how many days are you working? So yeah, sure, I'll take a week, just a day in Cleveland. I'm just dropping in, staying at the hotel, working a day, and then coming home. But are you really getting that much? I mean, let me tell you, these autographs were stupid expensive. I'm like, who's paying $800 for like an Albert Pujols, jersey
Maybe
signature?
you still like the fan attention, you know what I mean? That they still have fans
I would
out
think
there.
so. I would agree. A lot of it's branding. You want to keep relevant. You want to stay relevant. You want to see the people that appreciate you. But so that's what I'm saying is I feel like at some point he enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at another point, it just kept going and going and going. And I could see a world where, like, did he look contentious? Like, I haven't seen the documentary. Who knows what else is to come? I'm sure the bigger bombs are still hidden within the episode, but like, or in the documentary. But are we gonna sit here and pretend like he was like, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, it didn't feel like he was a prisoner. He was just tired, didn't want to have to do it. But maybe he wants to because that's what pays the bills.
And the guy that's putting out the documentary is the guy behind the camera, and he's trying to do a crowdfund to finish the documentary and put it out, like 300,000. But he's getting shit on too because, like, bro, you didn't do nothing when you was there. Now you're trying to get a little money out of it because you have the footage. But you should have gave this to the authorities or the right people ahead. You know what I mean? So,
dude, out of 300, 400,000, what? Okay, if you have there are no reshoots with the guy. All right, he's gone. All right, so what do you need the 400 grand for? You either got the footage or you don't. So at that point, I'm sitting here going, oh, no. You want us to you've done all this work. Netflix isn't buying it. So you want to get some compensation for it. And then you'll go on your press tour to all the studio producer heads trying to sell it. And you'll be lucky if you go anywhere. And it probably won't. So then you'll become some YouTube doc. And you'll be happy because we paid you. Are we crowdfunded paying you? Good luck with that, chap. So you're telling me I read that this documentary was coming out. So this is just crowdfunded?
Yeah, crowdfunded.
Oh, so yeah, I think it could just be a guy that's got a collection of videos and
no, he say he has a collection of videos.
Yeah,
but he literally put in a description that I want money to finish it, get it right, edit it for wardrobes, and he put wardrobes in there and getting actors in and people that seen the stuff to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring this back next week. We should rest it because it's a deep hole.
Really? All right. Well, I guess we'll have to tune in for another update next week. But I think we could start landing this plane. Ricky, you've held sturdy to the fact that you need to just keep Jonathan Major's names out your mouth and accept that Disney is sinking. Do you have anything else you want to add to your rapping thought, or is that it?
Nah, that's it. That's it, bro. Oscar moment.
That's right. That's right. So I think my wrapping thought is, whoa, what a clip to come out. I mean, you did get convicted of this, of assault. That gets you dropped from Disney. You settle in a civil lawsuit that you claim vindicates and saves your name. Then this video from, I guess, the criminal trial gets unearthed of you just kind of conceding it happened, but it's because you make me mad. All right. I don't have the willpower to be as nonchalant about that being that is bad. That is very bad. And if that is your home life, get that checked out. Get that checked out.
Bad, Jonathan.
Bad. You shouldn't accept that from anyone around you or in your circle. But also, I think Ricky does bring about the greater point, which is Disney was failing regardless. And this just really presented them the necessity that provoked the opportunity to readjust. And when you look at all of these other mediums that they've taken over, it seems to be the instinct to make them tank. You had Snow White, you had to go and ruin it. You bought Star Wars, you can't do it right. Marvel, you had something going there. You hired the right guys, these two directors, and honestly, yeah, you still may be slapping the Russo brothers' names on the projects, but also you can literally, as Ricky said, you can point to the series in the Marvel timeline where they had overt corporate intervention. You could tell where their creative eye was stifled. It's we as the audience felt it. Ant-Man is a flop. Well, you spent the most money on it. I mean, it was all CGI. I think people are relying in film way too much on CGI. That's becoming the industry standard, and you can't do it right like Avatar. They mastered it, but also they were still building giant warehouse studios. It was just a giant foam horse that they rode like a dragon. It wasn't like just them standing in a blue room and everything CGI. And I'm not saying that. Obviously, Marvel goes to great lengths to make, the best product they can. But you could tell they rely too much on computers and the overt corporate intervention. Now you're telling us an indoctrination. You've stifled creativity, and your writing is clearly shallow. It is definitely not captivated the largest audience that you were able to create. You had the largest audience. So it's a shame. What a way to throw away a Disney dynasty. I mean, you were about to be the guy worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I don't have the heart to be like Ricky and Will. Nobody was able to convince me Jonathan Majors was a great actor. I kept being told that all the projects before he was Kang, and I'm telling you, he was great. Not impressed. I'm not disappointed, but I'm not impressed. I'm not sitting here going that's a Scorsese great. No, it's just, it wasn't bad. And so you built hundreds of millions of dollars around it. And if you didn't mess this up by, living a disgusting lifestyle or allowing yourself to be overcome by disgusting impulses, you would be, even if you were terrible, in my opinion, the world would have hailed you as the best. You would have been able to go into any project you wanted. When a giant warehouse of people cream themselves because Iron Man or Dr. Doom rips his mask off and it's Robert Downey Jr., that could have been you. You could have had that effect on a Comic-Con full of nerds. But instead, you will now hide in the shadows with shame. You'll still be rich, but not generationally rich. And you won't be a name that's, revered, especially in the industry. It's a shame, but maybe you get a chance to come back. And if that happens, I'm always open to the road of redemption. But it takes some work, especially coming back from something like this. And it surely won't be in Disney. Will, what are your rapping thoughts?
I'm kind of with you. I think he can make a comeback. I mean, Will Smith assaulted someone on stage at the Oscars and then won Best Actor the next year. So what makes you think he can't do it? You know me. Alex knows me the most. I like Marvel. I like the first wave. The only new one I watched was when you and I went to see Ant-Man. I thought it sucked. Maybe it was same night. Excuse me. I think Majors is a good actor. I don't think he's a great actor. But I think he was a kid in a young career. Generational bag fumble up there with Ray Rice. I mean, you're not coming back from this one. At least not soon.
No, there's
he got a great movie coming out, okay, where he got Jonathan Majors. When he got
another movie coming out.
Yeah, he's a bodybuilder, bro. Yeah, a bodybuilder movie. It's like an indie film.
Yoked, dude.
Oh yeah,
when I was putting together like thumbnails and stuff for this, I'm like,
Alex, if you haven't seen the Creed movie, watch the second one. He's in it, or the third one. I don't know which one he's in. Yeah. He is good in that. Like he is good in the movie.
He's a good actor, bro. Division, he was a great actor in Division. But the bodybuilder movie, it was an independent movie. It was no big studio. It was at Sundance, and a studio picked it up, and now it's gonna come out like bigger. So
you gonna go see it?
Hell no. But I was watching. I don't. What? Look, I go watch blockbusters. I will definitely watch it though. I'll street like illegally.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll make sure that you consume it, but he doesn't get the vote.
That's 90% of my movie. Even Disney.
You vote with your views. You vote with your dollars. You don't necessarily want to give him the support, but you want to consume it so you can judge it for yourself.
I will give him the support, but I don't got the time to give him the support.
I like Naled here. The bodybuilder movie is called the Magazine Dreams.
But she was just debating me over here that none of Jonathan Majors' roles are memorable.
I'm with her. When she dropped the comment, I'm with her.
But again, I don't think he was an actor with like a lot of like big credits before Marvel. Marvel was supposed to be like his breakout. You've heard of him. Now go look at his old stuff.
And it would have changed everything.
The only movie I knew of him in outside of Marvel that was like a mainstream movie was Creed. Was the other Creed. Outside of that, it's been like small projects. And again, a bunch of guys get like their start there. But Marvel was supposed to be, like you said, his Robert Downey Jr.-esque moment. And I don't know if he was going to be any good for it. I mean, I only saw him in Ant-Man. That movie sucked. That movie was so bad. They're all going to be so bad. So they might have done it because the money was going to be awful. But I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is a good pivot as a villain. I think it's weird.
It is. Well, no. You know what? We actually didn't get a chance to harp that point hard enough. And it's that is the laziest recovery you could go with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about, it's kind of like everything we get today, which is reselling us our childhood. They don't have modern creativity, so they just remake everything we grew up on, and they think that changes anything. Like that gets us excited or eager to consume it more. It's like, whoa, dude, I loved Italy Biddly Kitty jokes when I was 14. I'm not anymore. The problem is we just keep getting vaccines and your brain is like you're 14. I said it. No, the truth is I don't like being resold our generation, like our nostalgic childhood, but it's all crap. Like it's even a worser version of what we had as a kid. I don't know. I think we landed the plane, but hats off to the guy. I hope you best. If you were convicted of it, you would have paid your time. You would have, done the time. It's a free country. We have law and order. We have faith in the justice system. He paid his time. Now let him be a free man. It's probably not going to be something I'm watching, but let him. Ricky, what are you laughing at? You ain't watching it. I'm
going to watch Magic Dreams, okay? I don't spend my money on 95% of the movies. You know what I mean? I have an illegal website,
Dude, it's
so I just use it.
Magazine Dreams.
See, Magazine Dreams. I don't Dreams of Magazine. See, I don't even know the name, bro. But
It's
when I
right,
see
and
him
you're out
scrolling,
here.
but he's a good
Yeah.
actor. I'm gonna stand by what I seen with him. He's a good actor
I don't
He's a
know.
good
The
actor.
Marvel stuff I thought was cheeky. I thought it was cheeky.
because it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Bingo.
It's not the actor. It's Marvel.
So right now I've got nothing.
Look.
And Magazine Dreams and big buff dudes isn't jumping out at me. Here's what I'm gonna say.
I hope it don't get you jumping.
You got so come on. Can we just agree that like this is probably not the breakout role to recover from what you okay.
But he's got to like I'll come to his
Bodybuilding?
defense, like he needs to take a role on like that. He needs for him to actually succeed now, he needs to establish himself as a potential Academy Award winning actor down the line. You need to start somewhere. Look at Robert Pattinson. He did Twilight. Everyone was thinking, what's he going to do? He did indie films for years before he started getting put in these huge budget movies now. So as an actor, he is taking the right route. You are not going to get back into anything of the magnitude that you fumbled before. So I don't know if he's a good actor. I'm with you, Alex, but like in terms of like career moves, this is the right one. You got to star in an indie role. It could win a Palm or a Con, and then all of a sudden your next project opens up.
That's a great point. Great point. So, you know what? Let's take a pivot here. Now, let's get into some of the news that the news refuses to bring to use, which is there are protests across the world, a whole series of them. And first, before I get through, I want to go through the list of them. One of the things that's been going on is there's protests in Ireland, and we really haven't had an opportunity for it to make it to our airways, as most, exciting movements fail to do. Our media's got our back, but we had on St. Patrick's Day, what better Irish representative than Conor McGregor in the White House to have some words for the American people, bring attention to necessary causes for the Irish people.
Yeah. Americans stay here.
Yeah.
Americans stay here.
Definitely.
Hey, Connor.
Oh. Hey.
Hey, Connor, first of all, did you get into some time with President Trump? And also, I know there's some Irish immigrants in the U.S. without status. What do you think should happen to them?
The Irish immigrants?
There's some recent Irish immigrants without legal status.
Are we taking questions?
Taking over the podium.
Ireland and America, we are siblings. We consider America our big sibling. So it's important for Ireland to have be a peaceful, happy, prosperous country for the 40 million Irish Americans to have a place to visit, to come back to their home. So we wish for our relationship with the United States to continue, and we wish to be taken care of by the big bro. You know, the United States should look after its little bro, and that's how we feel.
How about the trade? What about, there's some trade disputes between the U.S. and the EU, and how do you think?
We wish exemption.
Hey, we actually have some stuff that we have to do right now.
Connor is here to meet with the president. He'll be meeting with him later this afternoon. We couldn't think of a better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day. We're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but very festive. And as you know, I'll be having a briefing later at 1 o'clock, so we'll talk more about their meeting later. But he's going over to meet with some other administration officials. He's spending the day in Washington, D.C.
For sure.
So
I'm here to raise
fun.
the issues the people of Ireland face. You know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
So it's one, interesting to hear it brought up to us in this fashion, exclaimed to us in just passing, and much of this being news to many of the people. But as he kind of brings to our attention, that's the government, right? It's the people against the government, and who would have thought the other government really wouldn't bring it to their people's attention? So it's exciting to have actors like that, and it's exciting to have an administration that allows for a platform for these people and to bring about attention to these types of causes. But I do want to proclaim one thing, as Conor McGregor's kind of casting some not necessarily like guilt, but there's a responsibility there. Help the little brother out. You're the big brother. Hey, big bro, help the little brother out. And it's like, brother, you are not our little bro. You are the European Union's little bro, and for better or for worse, you're kind of stuck with that. You really don't have a choice. It is kind of a geographical conundrum you find yourself in with a failing dollar and overexerting oppressive governments. But that is your union. And again, I'm with Conor. I'm with the spirit of Conor. Like, hey, live and let live. We're all in this together. We want more allies than enemies. It's not that I'm trying to make the point that you're not not one of our allies, one of our teammates, one of our families, brother. But, dude, there are some mounting problems in the European Union, especially with the United States and its relationship to it. So, like, that's an internal problem. And so as the people are kind of rising there, as it had brought about earlier, identifying countries currently expressing population protests, not only in Ireland, but across the world, and especially those that are going unreported, requires looking at, recent trends in the civil unrest, anti-government demonstrations, and social movements, often driven by economic, political, or social grievances. As of today, here's a list of the countries that, our global headlines are dominating, but our personal domestic headlines are ignoring. So starting off, I'm going to skip number one, which is Serbia. And that will be a topic we come back to. Number two is Hungary. Citizens have taken to the streets to oppose Prime Minister Viktor Orban's leadership, citing corruption and democratic backsliding. While Hungary is in the EU spotlight, the scale and persistence of these protests are often overshadowed by other European issues. And as I had proclaimed earlier, the tension within the European Union is just mounting. Georgia has ongoing protests against the government's foreign agent law, and perceived pro-Russian shift had continued into 2025. These demonstrations, while significantly local, often fly under the global radar due to focus on nearby Ukraine and Russian conflicts. We had also issues in Romania. Protests have flared over government's issues and corruption, yet they rarely make sustained international news cycles overshadowed by larger EU narratives or regional crises. One that piques interest personally to me and my family, Moldova, not because I'm Moldovan or something, but because my dad's been over there doing work. Demonstrations linked to political instability and economic hardship have occurred, but Moldova's small size and proximity to Ukraine's conflict often leave these events unreported. Also, Argentina. There's an anti-government protest against far-right policies and economic austerity under President Javier Milei, and these have continued to persist. While notable in Latin America, they compete for attention with bigger regional stories like Venezuela or Brazil. Also, we have Kenya. There is a youth-led protest against tax hikes and governance issues that have continued sporadically since 2024, but they receive less consistent coverage compared to the earlier, more dramatic flare-ups. Zambia and economic instability and food insecurity have sparked unrest, yet Zambia, I'm probably saying that wrong. Yet Zambia's crisis are often eclipsed by more prominent African conflicts like Sudan and Ethiopia. Angola, protests against government repression and economic hardship occur, But Angolia's strict control over dissent and its lower global profile keep these events unreported. Nigeria. Demonstrations over economic woes and election disputes have persisted, though they often get less attention than the country's security crisis tied to insurgency. These countries reflect a mix of recent protest activities that have been noted in the global arena, where many of people have highlighted the unrest in places like Serbia, Hungary, and Georgia as part of the broader wave of dissatisfaction. Unreporting often stems from media focus on larger conflicts like Ukraine and Israel-Palestine. A more sensational crisis leaving smaller scale or chronic unrest in shadows. Factors driving these protests include economic equality, political corruption, and authoritarian governments. Common threads across this dialogue have focused on across the 147 countries in this last period. These on this list, about 10, and the list continues as people seem to be kind of feeling this global awakening and pushing back against the government. Now, one of the things that I've learned is that this isn't some like perfect wave of ideology. It seems to be ideologues across the political spectrum. We have a friend who has a personal relationship with Serbia, and speaking with them on their take of what's going on, they're like, oh, it's just crazy liberal protest. But at the same time, whether it's for good or bad, we're also feeling them domestically. There is this pushback, and I guess one of the things that needs to inevitably shadow this dialogue is because they're protesting doesn't mean always the cause is right. So that can be something that looms over the conversation. But circling back to the one that I kind of just glossed over and a reason for it, there was a youth university-led protest in Serbia that had gained a size of over 200,000 to 300,000 people on the ground are reporting up to 500,000, while those that had hosted the events are reporting upwards to 800,000 people. This, whether it was at its lowest of over 350,000 about, that makes it a record-breaking size of protest. Why this protest is more notable among the rest is it highlighted a science, a weapon that I didn't really even know existed. And it really isn't going to surprise you at all that it exists. But boy, is it not exciting to actually see that it does. Wrong one.
Look at his nose. Jesus.
Yeah, let's keep that lower. Watch the people just spread. Wow, that's loud. So, this is a sonar impulse cannon that shot a wave through the crowd and immediately splits it in half. Many of the people on the street can't even explain why they split one way or the other. It was a natural impulse instinct. People felt rattlings in their brain, instant nausea, fogging of the head, blacking out, a whole series of symptoms that, again, what if somebody had like a heart monitor or
Heart
something?
palpitations or something, yeah.
Like, and
somebody who maybe is like epileptic too.
Yes. But again, people are just expendable. What's it matter? I've got two more clips of it here. They're all filming the speeches. That whistle's haunting. To me, it's crazy that this science exists. What do you think, Ricky?
That's some Marvel shit.
For real.
That is crazy though. Like to use that against your people too. That's like another level of.
Yes,
you're not even at war.
Takeaway.
You know what I'm saying,
dude? To use it against your people is that to me is the most telling piece.
And then Will said it, like, you don't know what complications someone in that crowd is. Like, I thought people had a right to peaceful protest. I don't see no riots, nothing on fire,
nothing,
no one going crazy. So
it looks like a championship parade.
I don't know much about Hungary's rules and constitution, so maybe they don't have the right to gather.
Well, to reinforce it was Serbia, but that is part of the problem. Is like, one, they don't. Two, they're in a conflicted area, like government. Their country is war torn and is unstable. So, what is dangerous about this right here? It's the equipping, the arming of the people. It isn't that they're dangerous right now. It's that once people get together and they start to bond and realize the enemies they share, it poses a threat to the enemy. And guess what? The enemy is the one holding the sonar cannon that it can shoot through the people. And I don't know. To me, the bigger takeaway and why this was a topic is this exists. That's the takeaway. This science exists. And if you think Serbia has it, what do we have? And are you truly, and if you are, please liberate me from my ignorances, baby. And I beg of you to persuade me. Why would you think our government wouldn't do this to us? The government is going to choose self-preservation over your ass every time. That's the equation. If we're taking the balance, it's I love you insofar as I still got control of you and I'm taking all the fruits of you, but you are exploitable. I will drop your ass for my own self-preservation 10 times over. Will, what do you think of the whole thing?
We've touched base on this topic a lot on this show. Because it's not just like our country. We're kind of seeing like these frustrations, but like a lot in the European Union. You're kind of seeing what like the other measures other countries go to kind of deal with these gatherings. Seriously. I guess if we want to call them that. And honestly, it give us an unbelievable amount of restraint after seeing that. Like you haven't seen a video of something of that nature in this country. You've seen protests, sure. You've seen like protesters and people pushing back against them combat in the street, but to that degree, that's crazy. And one more point, back to the original video you put on. Connor's nose is huge. It is bulbous, dude. His
you
nose,
are cruel,
dude. His nose is getting near Artie Lang size.
He's looking like Vin Diesel, bro.
Big Diesel.
Like,
why you gotta do him like that?
But like, Connor, like when I saw it as well as I'm shocked. Like I didn't even know that was Connor for real.
His nose is huge. If you look at photos of him, like it's a young fighter, and that's not getting punched in the face. Size nose.
What do you think's doing that?
I think his lifestyle might be factoring in a little bit.
Is you calling that Artie Lang nose?
Yeah. Very reminiscent of a seasoned Artie Lang, not a young Artie Lang.
Yes, a seasoned Artie Lang. Oh, dude.
I'm telling you, you could see the lifestyle from like 30 feet away. Like, dang.
Yeah, it is funny you say it, Will, because when I saw him in this clip, it was kind of one of those humble moments where I was just like, it's sad that this was my internal comment, and I didn't even realize it till you said it. But I'm like, this is probably the most put together I've seen him in a while.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree with that statement. I think that is the most put together I've seen Connor publicly in a while. And I mean, couldn't have picked a better opportunity to do it. Do it for the White House. I got to give him
St. Patrick's Day.
Wearing a green suit, he looks good. He looks good. But you're seeing the wear and tear of his Connor's own personal lifestyle.
He loves skiing.
He loves it, dude. He's a professional at it. He hits the black diamonds probably 5 to 10 times a night.
Lots of diamonds.
So is Connor about to run for like Ireland public office or something? Like, because I don't think he's fighting ever again. Like,
no, I don't think he is either. He doesn't need to. He's already a billionaire.
He's all juiced up, bro. That's his reason. His nose got so big and his head got so like rounded.
No. We're walking around the bush, Ricky.
Oh, Ricky,
he's skiing. He's He's throwing his face in a lot of snow.
That's true. And he's been
That's what's
juicing.
doing this.
Dude, he's the first fighter I've seen in forever where his nose got bigger after his fighting career.
Usually it's the fighting career that makes it the
Yeah,
largest.
you know, and I mean, like, Conor has been getting a little bit more vocal with Ireland politics the last 2-3 years. And it is funny, though. Like, you think, like, our country, we have tons of famous athletes, like global athletes. And I see some Irish people, like, from Ireland, like, tweeting, like, they're not, like, he doesn't represent us at all. It's like, name me another Irishman that I know. I could think of, like, Cillian Murphy, the actor. He doesn't say a word. He just acts and goes home. And then there's Conor McGregor. And Conor's like, I'll go talk to him. And he did it politely. Like, I give him credit. Like, he showed up.
I was thinking that. I was like, why do they have Conor? They couldn't find a better Irish person. I was like, wait, think of an Irish person.
Yeah.
Because I was wanting to say that, but I couldn't think of another
Seth
Irish
Green.
person, bro.
Yeah, name 5. You got Conor, Killian, Seth Green, Ed Sheeran, me. That's the list. And you're not sending me to the White House to talk about them.
I would have started naming some king. King Charles.
Well, and I like the point of they don't have, much to pick from, but also there's a difference here. Will Conor McGregor always be hailed as a, likable or at least exciting celebrity in Ireland? For sure. But Ricky's point was, do you think he's getting ready for politics? Dude, nobody is voting Conor for anything. That guy's got way too many bar fights publicly in his background and again, it's not America. In America, we could blur the line of politics enough to let a celebrity be a representative.
Look at Schwarzenegger.
For us.
He was
not in Europe.
Yeah, like Schwarzenegger was a Republican governor in a blue state. Like in this country, like you said, in this country, though.
That they're already public. They know who they're getting. You know what I mean? Like, people just said that about America as well before Donald Trump became our president. You never know. You never know what the people are really. I don't live in Ireland, so we need an Ireland correspondent to come on here next week and tell us.
I think as a general, I'd pick him. I don't think he's got much war strategy, but I'd pick him. As the commander-in-chief, the art of the deal negotiator representative for the squad, I really don't think so. I can't see him being the brain that brings Ireland to glory.
What I will always say about Conor, though, is he is the perfect representation of an Irishman. Like, he is. Like, he would be the most Irish president of Irish presidents ever.
He'd be the most regular Irishman to be an Irish politician, but I don't think he'd be the best for the country.
He's literally a stereotype of an Irishman. He's the most famous one of all time.
Oh, he is the Fighting Irish. Like Notre Dame.
Oh my God!
Cartoon,
Yes, dude. Yes, you nailed it. He should 1000% be that for like Halloween or something, or just on a Tuesday.
That every day.
Just do that on a Tuesday, man. Just dress up like it, like you're Conor. You can do.
He
what you
lives
want.
it when he throws a stool through a bus window or whatever.
Oh my God, the Khabib, the Khabib thing.
He is Notre Dame. It's like he's wearing a gold helmet.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? I give him kudos. He looked, like you said, he looked good. He was very respectful.
That was the most put together he has been in at least the last year.
Oh yeah, that was his first non-skiing day all year. He took a day off.
And you know what? He was this close to pulling a Theo Vaughn with the president being like, "You ever done cocaine before?" Remember when Theo did that on the presidential tour of his podcast? Yeah. So, you know what? Let's get to some rapid thoughts. This is an interesting conversation, keeping it grounded before I throw it to Ricky. You know, it's not just the Irish aspect or the Serbian aspect, but it's a good place to be when people are unsettled and when they become unsatisfied, they know how to. This to me seems like a series of healthier demonstrations. You know, in 2020, we had the Summer of Love where cupcake houses and courthouses were being burnt down. And we were saying it was all peaceful. It really tells you've got your finger on the pulse when people from objectively outside of your lens can say that's clearly a peaceful protest. And when they can sit back and acknowledge that and watch a new type of crowd weaponry be used on you that we really haven't seen before. Like, one, it tells me you guys might be onto something, but it also emphasizes who the real threat is, where the real power is. You hold the power, you being able to equip the people around you, your community, and use it for good towards the proper cause. That's the whole goal. So, we could have our chuckles and our yucks about Conor McGregor and, his presentation at the White House. That's just kind of sideshow circus fun. But also, like, when you look at Serbia, be aware of what you're up against. And it's not your neighbor that might have different skin color, have a different sex between their legs, might want to spend private moments in their bedroom with different people than you. None of that matters. And the only thing that matters is who we all share as an oppressor, an aggressor, the opposite, the versus. And we need to become more centrally aware of that before sonar cannons are shot at your local protest. Ricky, what are your rapping thoughts?
It's scary. It's scary when you can't see it coming. When you don't see it coming, and that's the really scary part. If you see some cops come with the whoosh, like some old, you see it so you can get prepared. But when something like that just hits you and it's out there, and if Serbia got it, my fault for earlier saying Hungary, Serbia got it, it's in America, bro. It's here. It's just about when they're about to pop this thing out and set it off.
So true, so true. And they're going to be worried about public backlash. And so at the moment at which they do execute that, you're at the final straw. Like, we're at the point. This is the breaking point. Will, what are your rapping thoughts?
It's literally an invisible threat. When you think of it, like, they don't see it coming, and it's the oppressor. Like, you don't see ominous they almost, like, we know what it is, but we can't point at it.
And it's the scariest type of weapon or science because it's just, what is it? Like you said, it's invisible. It is hijacking your biology.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code you can't stop or control.
Right. It's like that whistle that people use for dogs.
Yeah.
In real time. And on top of that, Conor McGregor, 2028.
For Ireland.
Oh,
not here.
Yes, for Ireland. Or
that's your circus. Have fun. We'll cheer you on.
Cheer you on. If they do that, that will be our weekly updates. That and DeMoss.
I just want to point DeMoss. She still found a way back, even in this episode. No, I appreciate, if you remember back in 2020 or really like 2016, 2017, Trump becomes president. The whole world hates him. The whole media machine's against him. And so much of the dialogue as Russia collusion's being pushed and, he's a Putin compromised agent. It's funny that now, with the perspective of time, it's like, one, that not only did that entire series bottom out, but what if everybody kept saying, let's just put them in an arena. Let's just put Trump. We shouldn't have to fight their fights. We shouldn't have people dying on their behalf. So just imagine if the way we solve things was that, then Ireland just becomes a world power because now Conor McGregor is just taking on world issues against Putin and Trump in an octagon.
Dude, so Conor would be like the best fighter, right? And somehow Dana White would get like a promotion in life.
Yeah, he'd be in charge of it.
Like he's just like the UN, but the UN is just like, all right, guys, like, we got our main card starting at 10.
It's the UNC.
We got Angola and Hungary in the bottom card in the prelims.
Yeah. Yemen and Venezuela in the prelims.
It's funny though, when you bring up 2016 though, I do remember Conor like being one of the first like celebrities, like big celebrities publicly to be like, love Trump, like way back when he was elected. And that was when he was still fighting.
Yeah, and then Colby took that torch and ran.
Yeah,
Took it
yeah,
over.
he is. But Ricky, have you seen Colby lately?
Yeah. You gotta go check out last
Didn't
week.
you? Yeah, you showed me last week, Kobe last week.
Yeah, that's why he said it.
Yeah.
He's just getting your go. Anyway, all right, getting on to our last topic here, one that I just cannot believe is real. I don't know if any of you have seen, but there is a upcoming climate summit that is going to be hosted in the Amazon. But of course, there isn't many venues that are easily or readily available in the Amazon. So one of the things that I guess was the executive decision for this summit is to plow out 8 miles of endangered Amazon so we could have a highway right to the venue. Yeah, that is 100% real. So we're just plowing out 8 miles of Amazonian river for a climate change summit. Do not let the irony be lost upon you folks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
A climate change summit destroyed 8 more miles of the Amazon. I said 8 more because that's just a thing we keep on doing. What happened to that being a part of what was championed by the climate change movement? We need to save our forests, the Amazons. Like, what? I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Because to me, this is like absurd.
Okay.
Where does the
for instance, like, don't they fly in anyways? Why don't they just
fly a little bit further?
They don't have like a landing
pad.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have a landing pad there. Like, again, like, it's one of the most famous ecosystems in the entire world. And you're like, it's literally the phrase, give an inch, take a mile. Well, they just took 8. What's to stop them from taking more?
Dude, and like you said, what is a landing strip? It surely isn't 8 miles long.
Oh, no, dude. You know what they want to do. They want to have like parades and stuff and make it like this pageantry thing for something
then
most
they'll
people
develop
don't care
it,
about.
and now, we'll corporatize it, and then we'll have, a hot tourist bed that, can persist for the future economy of this area where the only economy is their trees. What were you going to say, Ricky? I'm sorry.
So where there's workers, there's vendors, right? After the workers leave, the vendors will remain. So it's just gonna be taken over little by little. It ain't gonna stop, as y'all been saying. But they could have took a ferry. Forget a helicopter.
Right.
They're trying to save the. There's water on the left hand side over there. They could have took a ferry to that town down there, bro. Couple ferries. They could have did it like Paris Olympics.
Exactly. And I love your point. You're right on the river. It literally goes along the river. I didn't even really process that, Ricky.
Yeah.
You could take a ferry along this whole strip. But if you do see in the back there is a city, right? Like, there is development. So really, they just want to expand the development, modernize, westernize this developed area. Okay, maybe I'm not opposed to the final concession that is the inevitable evolution and expansion of the human experience. But then you sure as hell got to drop the preserve the forest narrative. Like, that also has to kick a can. If we're going to go, okay, this is the future of human development and this is where it inevitably goes, then you definitely cannot continue to hold on to, please, in the middle of the night, Sarah McLachlan playing doggy songs going, please give 5 cents a day to feed old chap here. No. What? You're plowing down his rainforest for a highway. Why? So he could be a tourist attraction like the tiger at the zoo.
And some people got displaced.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that too.
So, okay, the climate summit that's coming up is held in Baku, Azerbaijan. Right, yep, I said it perfect. From November 11th to the 22nd. And I wanted to kind of get an idea of, like, how significant is this exact location? Like, why did it have to be at this future location? Why? Because we liked it. Yeah, that was it.
Hell yeah.
And also, I don't know if you're familiar with like the Opera House in Australia, or like a Spanish church in Barcelona, or the Roman Colosseum, but it's not like this is like a venue that cannot be found or replicated. It's just a regular, it's not bad. It's just a regular venue building, just a regular building. But this is the cost of it all. And again, the fact that it completely revolves around a climate change summit, collection of big wigs that champion this. I mean, Mitt Romney, here's a clown that has how many wives and lives this totally, compromised lifestyle, gets self-righteous over climate change as he has a private plane take him all over the country on a regular basis. We got folks like that. They're going to attend this and then get self-righteous with us because you drive to work every day.
Yeah. Where's Greta?
Oh, she'll be
Where's
there.
little Greta? Yell at me.
That's
again.
crazy. Yeah, you make a great point because we have Zoom. We can have a big ass Zoom green meeting. It is gonna be the greenest meeting of the greenest meeting of all. Like, no carbon footprint today.
It doesn't even have to be on Zoom. I'm all for summits, the collection of people, the grease in the palms, the meeting of the minds. But you couldn't do it in a place that already has roads leading to it. And you had to do it where the only road to get there doesn't exist. No, it's right there. Oh yeah, that's the force. Exactly. We got to go right through it. Like,
how much? I'm thinking 8 miles.
Like, that was the pitch. And like the climate people are like, I think that's a good idea. What better place than the woods in the middle of the forest?
Yeah. And find out we're paying the most of the bill.
Yeah, exactly. We're always the patsy. Again, I think I've acknowledged this on a recent episode, but this is a perfect time to, re-acknowledge the Paris Accord, the Climate Paris Accord agreement was the worst trade deal of all trade deals for a reason, which is every country that signed up for it, which is over 100 countries, China, Saudi Arabia, big oil burners, big carbon releasers into the environment. Everybody needs to be carbon neutral by 2050 or pretext on every single one of those countries' agreement. If you don't make it by carbon neutral by 2050, America will foot the bill to get you there. What? So go ahead and explain to me the motivation for China, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and any of these countries. Russia wasn't one of them. Any of these countries to get to carbon neutral. Why would I expend anything, any effort, when America's just going to pay to get me there? And that, I think, is the fallacy that revolves around this world, this economy, this study, this science. I mean, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity to show the picture. I didn't have it ready for it, but have you guys seen the pictures of like, the one is Dubai now versus like 100 years ago, and it's coastline. And what they do is show that, wait, I thought you told me there's rising tides, and yet the shoreline doesn't change at all. I wish I had it. Boom. This might do it. It's just crazy that over the course of like 100 years, we were supposed to lose California. Nope, we're still stuck with those guys. We were supposed to have like all this erosion, ice melting, so the sea levels rose to a crazy level. Polar bears still got a lot of places to kick it. And you see that, like, yeah, a Palm Island, a manufactured sand dune in the middle of the ocean should erode. Why didn't this? Why are they able to develop more and it not go anywhere? Where's the climate change and all of this? So I think there were hypotheses. Some I think were honest and genuine, and they just didn't pan out. It didn't become the crisis they expected it to be. And so now, what is this summit, this conference of climate experts? What is it beyond a bunch of bigwigs patting each other on the back and justifying their vacation this year being paid for by whatever agency or industry that was able to foot the bill to get them there. It's just this paid for vacation for rich people. Not a lot of meat on this bone. So Ricky, give me your thoughts on this whole bad boy and we can close out the show.
Give the Rethink Tank full access pass to there. Let us go, see what it's all about. Be climate
You'll happily
activists.
take that
You know
road.
what I mean? Yeah, we'll let us see what this road is about. Connect with the people and get inside y'all minds.
I'm just thinking,
Shout out
Ricky,
to y'all.
it's like, Ricky, they all give us this pass, and then it's like we're driving down the road, Alex in the back. It is nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo, imagine when we reach, bruv. It's gonna be flag, every country flag going down the street,
We're
bruv.
gonna have
Like
a Rethink Tank
Pennsylvania
flag. We're gonna be
Boulevard.
like right there.
Right there.
Interviewing people,
with
bruv.
Guam and
Hey, whenever the next summit's in America, that's where we're gonna go.
well,
We're gonna
and
go
again,
put up a table.
Why wouldn't
and
you have it in
record.
America? Right? Am I missing something? Like
I don't want him
well
here.
developed.
I don't want him here. I don't.
That's true, because them England,
I don't know.
them lads over there gonna come over here and sit in the street, man. We don't want that. We don't want that, fam. They can stay. You're right, Will.
Wow, this has been a doozy. My wrapping thoughts are going to be one. I would love to go to that, so it would be great to get passes to it. But again, it's because you're going to have an on-site cynic. Like I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, so wouldn't it be great to have one of us there? Like, look at all the fools. Look at all these chickens. And it's a bunch of geese. You need that guy. But also, I would appreciate driving through the forest because I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing those things. I think there's a balance to this. You definitely need to preserve nature where we can. We're at some point, though, we're going to run out of space and we can't develop everything. You got to preserve some of this. And it's sad. You just continue to slowly move that goalpost before eventually it will all be gone. And, is this the beginning of that? No, I mean, we're still far away from the loss of all of natural pieces. But this is how that goes. We justify it here. We justify it there. Many of these justifications have no necessity, no benefit or furthering of the human experience. This is just bigwigs wanting to have a conference. And we're going to have our fun for like half a month and never come back. Never. Right? You and the jungle people are on your own. But we spent all our money to establish, we lit the candle for you. You just got to keep it lit. You've got a whole, Western economy waiting to bring in tourists. Just don't become Barcelona and squirt gun and paint pelt all the people that are coming to give your place money and keep your economy moving. It'll be interesting, but I think the reason this was a topic and something worth exemplifying or bringing attention to is beyond anything I leave with my point. It's please allow this to highlight the idiocracy of this movement. There is no true dialogue. We have departed from the science. We are not truly addressing the facts of the matter for the sake of the betterment of our future. That was, I think, a truthful endeavor that very quickly became an equipped tool to control and manipulate the people. And now that the science isn't there, we're dealing with the shell of a manipulative arm. And we need to be able to see it for what it is. Billionaires, millionaires, quadrillionaires, and Greta Thunberg are going into a jungle to tell you why you're a problem. And the way they got there was plowing out 8 miles of trees. And to you, trees don't feel like much. But within 8 miles of trees, that's all of the residents that are within there, all of the animals and habitats that have been derooted and crushed and killed for the sake of what? A couple yucks and drinks by billionaires as they continue to exploit you. Will, what are your wrapping thoughts?
I think they suck. But the irony, they have to know, right?
You would hope.
They
can't.
Like it's a joke. They're making a joke, right? They're literally doing a joke. I don't know. I think the climate change thing, I just want that little girl to go on TV and yell at us again like we did it.
Yeah.
And just somehow make it our fault and not their fault. That's fine.
No, I know that your question wasn't directed for an answer, but do they know? Well, I really don't think they do. I really do think, here's the truth. Did Hitler think he was a bad guy? With the perspective of the world's moral compass, the world has determined bad guy. But Hitler didn't go, I choose bad. He had a corrupt moral compass, and he thought what he was doing was good. That's the sick reality of evil in this world, is evil truly doesn't always think it's evil. And most of the time it doesn't. The evil that chooses evil for evil's sake is that 0.001% psychopathic type of perspective. That is the Jeffrey Dahmer, the, killing raccoons in your backyard type of psycho.
Don't F with cats.
Well, what? And that guy was a psycho. So there is this, I don't think they're choosing evil. I think they are so infected by this manipulated lens that they see the world in, that the evil they consciously choose or pick. They see sunshines and daisies. Yeah. They are God's gift to you. You're welcome, damn it. That's at least what I think. So I appreciate everybody that joined us. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do to support the show, be sure to hit that like button. If you're watching us on Twitter or wherever else, retweet, take that link and spread it around. If you're on YouTube, share it, please, because the best thing you do to support this show is share the link, because that's what's helping us with these algorithms and everything else. The mechanism doesn't like us having conversations like this, and we appreciate all of the folks that joined us in the comments, from Nolette to Straight Bombs and everyone else. Appreciate that, because the whole point of the live show is to get you involved. Let me flip it to the Pickle Gallery, because, of course, we got to thank Ricky for joining us as always. Ricky, tell the folks where they can find you.
YouTube, for clips, Instagram, TikTok, video tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Okay. Come back on YouTube, same time y'all came today.
Just Another Day TV. Go catch him out.
Outside.
That's right. Well, he's inside. He is inside. Guys, again, we appreciate you joining us. We've got all types of shows across the different channels and platforms. Will and I had a really great episode of the Reactions show this past Sunday. I've gotten a lot of great feedback. We talked about animals and all of these crazy camouflages, from squid and octopi in the ocean to leopards on trees. It's quite an awesome episode. So check out the Rethink Actions channel. That's on Sundays at 11 Eastern time. But again, there's so many different shows and channels, and you can find it all in one central place. And that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So again, if we made you laugh, we made you think, be sure to, help us out, hit the like button, stay involved. But otherwise, guys, we do this every week, all Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So thanks again to everybody else, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.